can't miss the sunrise. So the Nile is over 4,000 miles long and is one of the few rivers that flows from south to north. The depth of the Nile varies a lot, so you really need to know where you're going, because if you're not careful, you could crash your ship. It's so beautiful this time of the morning, watching as the sun rises on the banks of the Nile. We're going to go and get some breakfast, so I'll see you soon. Bye! Doing breakfast right here. I've got omelette that they've just made fresh with tomatoes, mushroom. See your mad skills in the kitchen. This is some pastries, waffle, and some these, I don't know what these are, but they look like croissant-y things with custard. So I am going to just dive in. So we're walking to Kom Ombo temple. Kom means mount and Ombo means gold. So this is the Mount of Gold, and it dates back to 181 BC. So after people lost their faith in the country, they kind of lost the faith in the religion really. Some of these temples have kind of deteriorated, and a lot of people started taking away the stones or chiseling them and quarrying them, and as Muhammad said, some places you'll even find people smoking in a hookah sitting on a block from a temple. So this is one of the most destroyed temples that we're going to visit on this trip. Yeah, the word hieroglyphic is actually Greek for religious text, and that's why you see a lot of hieroglyphics in temples and holy places in Egypt. And hieroglyphics are really only found in religious places, which is why people often think that the Egyptians spoke in hieroglyphics, when in fact the hieroglyphics is really only used for religious text. Everything else is just ancient Egyptian.
The hieroglyphic form of writing is a form of writing that combined alphabets with logograph. The alphabet is a symbol that stands just for a sound, a phonetics. Like the crow stands for the letter A, it's the sound A. The snail is the letter F. The owl is for M. The mouth is for R. And the half bread is the sound T. And then we have the logograph, a symbol that stands for an entire meaning. You see this one here, which is so famous and so popular. People nowadays call it the key of life, and it's pronounced An. If I want to write the word life in the hieroglyphic form of writing in the ancient Egyptian language, there is two options. To write A, N, which looks like a wave, K, which looks like a basket with a handle, or to draw this. The hieroglyphic is readable from top to bottom all the time if it's depicted in a vertical way. If the text is horizontal, we'll read it from right to left or from left to right, one way or the other, not both ways. And that's depend on the faces of the living things. And usually you'll see all of them looking toward one direction. If all of them are looking toward the left, you start read from left to right. But if all of them are looking toward the right, you start read from right to left. If you look at this horizontal text over here as an example, you see this bird is looking to the left, the human is looking to the left, the snail is looking to the left, the duck is looking to the left, the owl, if it's confusing, you can look at the feet, it's still looking to the left, so everything is looking to the left, so you start read from left to right. You can see the surgical tools, the surgical instruments that they have been used back in the day. Similar stuff like the hair cupping, scissors, forceps, drug bag, needles, a flame for purifying the tools, and on the upper line you see different kind of saws and knives. Also, the Egyptians have the earliest depiction of how a woman can give birth easily. They had something called the birth chair. It's a wooden chair. The lower part of the chair has a hole that's full of water, so the woman will squat, the lower part of her body will be in the water.
So now we're going to walk to a well that's on site, and these wells would measure the water. The higher up you were away from flooding, the more tax you would pay. So they would install a well on every site, and the priest would maintain it, and he would report on how deep the water was.